Hosted by Mike, the Big Cheese.
All right, welcome back to the Heavy Metal Mayhem Radio Show. It is Sunday, October 26, 2025. It is the last Sunday of this month and of this year in October. And we got our Halloween special coming up this Thursday. I just want to remind everybody off the bat, 12 p.m., the Metal Matinee is live this week. There's no chat room, but the show is live. And it's our Halloween Spooktacular number 16, I believe. So come and join us this Thursday at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Time. Wow, what a great show we got for everybody tonight. We were supposed to have Ron Fresky from Babylon AD. We tried really hard all week to make this interview work out for tonight or even to pre record it. one day during the week. It just didn't happen. But Ron will be on the show in November. Filling in tonight, Mike Florentine of Generation Underground, Jim Florentine's nephew from that metal show. He's going to be, not, the music isn't necessarily stuff that we normally play on this show, but Mike is a nice guy. He does a great job trying to promote this band and get the name out there. So we'll be talking to Mike sometime in the middle of today's program. So stick around for that interview. Right there, Sabotage by the Grace of the Witch. When I talk about Sabotage, that's the Sabotage that I love. The early version of the band, not the one that's going around now playing that show tune type of rock and metal with Zach on vocals. Zach's a great singer, love him, does a lot of great music, just don't care for that era of Sabotage. But it's out there and people are going crazy for them and seeing them. So I guess if you weren't lucky enough to be around back in the day to see them live in the 80s, I guess you got to settle for second best. And that's exactly what you get with them and a lot of other bands out there doing it like that. We're not going to get into that right now. It's too early on in the show. But once again, another week has gone by. And we lost a few great rockers and metalheads out there. Marcy or Mark Free, however you want to remember her as, the lead singer from King Cobra and Unruly Child and Signal. We had Marcy on the show, I think, the second year that we were on the air back in 2009. Nice person to talk to. Passed away this week, I believe, in the early 70s. I'm not too sure the exact age. We also lost Jean Tremblay from Messiah Force out of Canada, the guitar player, the original guitar player for the band. He passed away, I guess, unexpectedly or suddenly. I don't know what the cause was, and it's really none of our business. But we lost two people this week. We lost Ace last week. We lost Ozzy this year, and a lot of other people, too many to name. Maybe we'll do an in memoriam at the end of the year instead of our hair metal show because we lost so many people, it seems, in 2025. But you know what? Let's do a little tribute to them right now. Let's do some unruly, excuse me, about unholy. I got Halloween on the brain here. Unruly Child from Marcy. Then we'll follow it up with some more Life Force. shout out to Marcy Free, who passed away this week. Messiah Force, who Jean Tremblay passed away also this week. Call from the Night, and right there rocks with Nuclear War. They were such a great band. Not a lot of information about them, online or on the internet, to look up. But Nuclear War was the title of that record, the title track of that record, and the title of the album. I think it came out in '87. I have that record in my collection. It was so good. I mean, I wish more would have happened for that band. And like I said, I don't even remember much about them, to be honest with you. I got to start looking some stuff up myself. Start reading some of the liner notes in the record to find out where they came from and what they were all about. But they were a good band, and that was a good record. All right. Man, we're losing so many people this year. It's not even funny. We're getting like up to the two a week now. Hope it doesn't stay like that till the end of the year, but it's just terrible. But we are all getting older, and this is what happens. That's part of life, right? All right, here. I saw that Serath Ungold, they just announced that they're going to be playing Hell's Heroes next year. Now, am I crazy? But didn't Serath Ungold put out a press release in November of 2023 telling everybody that 2024 was going to be the last year you'd be able to see the band live? You'll never see Serath Ungold live again after 2024. And every time they played a show, they put down the last time we're playing in New York, so make sure you come out to see us. The last time we're playing in Australia, make sure you come out to see us. Well, 2024 came and went, and the band did about a half a dozen shows so far this year. I think they have one more coming up, maybe two more coming up, and now they're booking shows for next year. So what was that all about? Where was that big enough? Was it just to get more people out to the shows in 24 to make a little extra money? I don't get it. I mean, why do bands do that? I mean, if it was your intention to end playing live, you should have just ended playing live. If you wanted, you should have made an announcement. You know what? We're having too much fun. We're enjoying what we're doing. We changed our mind. We're going to keep it going. Why never? They never even mentioned anything about it after that, which really boggles my mind. Because I'm like, I ran out to go see them that year, and then, now they're playing again all over the place. So what was the point of it? Bands do that all the time, like to generate interest and to get people to come out. And I know they had a new record out at that time. They were probably trying to promote, but why do shit like that? If your intentions aren't to end it and you don't end it, then just come out and say something. Hey, we fucked up. We're going to keep going on. And don't say it at the end of 2024 if everybody already came out again. They never even made anything of it. This has something to do with Jarvis and Night Demon, because without Sir Thungle, I don't think Night Demon even exists anymore. Because the only reason they get any shows is because they're always piggybacking off of Sirith. So who the hell knows? But it was just stupid that they made that announcement and then they just, did what they did. That's life, right? All right, let's keep the music flowing here. We'll get the Mike Florentine in about 20 minutes or so. How about some Attacker, Disciple?
Down, down in the valley below. Building soar, turn and rumble, lay down in the Seek the light from the burning night. Your world will fall in a spell. Weary dreams you'll find seem to come to life. Their world is cold metal hell. Let the sun to the flash, so will come to clash with the force that's known to us all. Well, take my hand and see the flames of victory. Join the pack and you'll never fall. Stand up and shout. Shout it out loud. Together we'll see. Forever shall be. You felt the razor's edge, your soul was saved to pledge. From the day you spit to the world, dreams have turned to dirt. So-called friends were spurred with the blade your thoughts have unfurled. Wasted nights you spent, your thoughts would not have said. Reality's not your way to be. So back your lies instead. The hate that fills your head. Hold my hand, you're staying with me. Stand up and shout. Shout it out loud. Together we'll see. Forever shall be. Stand up and shout. Shout it out loud.
All right, if it's not EXE, it's not metal with Metal Hell. Adam from the band sent me a couple of new songs a few years ago with him on vocals. They were actually leftover songs, or songs that they didn't record back in the '80s. They were really good. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't like the last stuff they put out there. It was nothing like the EXE that we remembered from back then, but these songs sounded great. So I'm hoping that they kind of put it together, finish it off, and get it out there. It'd be great to hear new music from EXE. Before that, Cyrus with Blitzkrieg, a band out of San Antonio, Texas. Ray Older for Fates One and was on those earlier demos by the band. I think at least the first one. Then they had a few more around and kind of faded away. But they got back together some years ago with a different singer, put out a really killer record. Before that, Maltese Falcon with On Fire. We kick things off with Attacker and Disciple. All right, we're going to get to Mike Florentine in a couple of minutes. How about we do just one more tune? Somebody has to tell me, what the hell is the appeal of this guy, Youngblood? I mean, he had Ozzy's ear when he was alive. Now he's doing stuff with Aerosmith. What is the deal with this guy? I mean, personally, I don't think he's any good at all. And he's like a fly-by-night type of guy. A few years from now, you'll never hear from him again, probably. But what is the appeal of this guy? What is it that people get into? Why do they think he's like the next rock god or something? I just don't get it. I mean, there's such high hopes they put on musicians that think are going to take this to the next level. But he's just another wannabe, in my opinion. I see nothing appealing about the guy, nothing interesting in his music. And, I feel the same about Aerosmith these days also. But I'm just saying, can somebody tell me what it is about this guy that makes him so interesting to everybody? I just can't put my finger on it. Maybe because it's not my genre of what he's doing, that radio rock stuff. I don't know. I have no idea. But getting back to classic metal, how about we do some Black Sabbath? The second go around with Dio from Dehumanizer. I. Black Sabbath with I. What a great record. They came out at a bad time for metal music. It kind of like faded away that record. Didn't do what it was supposed to do. But you know what? They reunited with Dio, and that was a great thing. Many, many years later, they would do it again, but have to change the name to Heaven and Hell. Still the same band, still the same lineup, putting out that great music. Oh, absolutely love that stuff. Right, we're going to talk to Mike Florentine from Generation Underground in a few minutes. Like I said, we'll have Ron on the show from Babylon AD next month. We just couldn't make it work out. We tried really hard, but everybody's schedules were kind of messed up this month. October is a very busy month for me. We go really big here for Halloween. I'm going to toot my own horn a little bit here. My house made it into the local paper, the Staten Island Advance, Staten Island Parent Magazine, and we were on the local news last night. They filmed the entire house and put up there, so I'm really happy about that. So if you're in the Staten Island area, come by, go see the town of Gruesome Gulch. It's only up for a few more days and Halloween's over. So come out and see it. We get a lot of visitors every night out here, and I absolutely love it. But it makes everything else kind of fall on the back burner for the month, but it is what it is. All right, let's talk to Mike right now from Generation Underground. His band's music isn't exactly what we would play on the show or what we would feature on here, so we're just going to talk to Mike and let you get a feel for his band. Here you go. Hey, Mike, this is Mike. How are you?
Can you hear me, Mike?
Yeah, you break it up a little bit, but I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, sounds like my house. Sure. Just let me know if at any point you can't hear me. I'll make sure I maneuver around the house, find a better.
Wherever you're standing right now, it's coming through perfect.
Okay,
Just don't
cool.
move for the next half hour. We're okay.
Exactly.
Hey, well, listen, man. I'm glad you guys got a new record out. It's hard to believe that it's been 10 years already of Generation Underground. Even though you started with a different name, it's been 10 years of this band and the music you've created. That's a long time.
Yeah, it'll be 11 years actually, literally
Wow.
in 48 hours. Yeah.
It's hard to believe. And when you think about it, I mean, you were just a kid back then. You were in high school probably when you started this band.
Was it high school? No, yeah, that was high school. Yeah, I was a sophomore in high school.
So, I mean, so how did it all come about? I mean, every kid wants to be in a band. They want to play an instrument, get up there on stage and perform. But how did this whole thing come about for you? What made you want to do this, and how did you get it started?
I mean, like my uncle was on TV for a couple years as one of the hosts of that metal show. So like I was around that and then like going to shows with him and my dad. I think for me the real turning point was when I met Clown from Slipknot when I was 13 and then he invited me to go side stage with the band and he told me, and I quote, that it'll change my life, and he definitely wasn't kidding about that. It definitely had changed my life because how could watching Slipknot side stage not change your life? I mean, I find that a little hard not to believe.
Being so young and saying, "Hey, I'm going to get into the music business. This is what I think I want to do." It's a big commitment, and there's a lot of heartbreak that comes with it. There's a lot of great times that come with it. Were you prepared for all that?
No, I don't think. I think I spent the first 5 years just with just straight anger and animosity and thinking that we were kind of invincible. And then kind of like you kind of learn that not everybody in the industry is who they say they are. And, in the last 5 years, I think we've learned a lot. You know what I mean? Especially, I think, like, really learning the ins and outs of, like, what works and this and that, you know what I mean? To kind of fully be able to kind of adapt. You know what I mean? Obviously, I'm sure as you know, Mike, like, the scene in the industry changes every day. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's never the same shit twice. You know what I mean? It's an ever evolving, ever changing thing, and it's a little frustrating because it's like if you don't start getting with the times, you're gonna get left behind more or less. So, but I feel like we've learned over the years kind of how to adapt as best we can, and obviously it's not gonna be fucking perfect. You know what I mean, it's gonna be you gotta roll with the punches. You know what I mean, and like contrary to like what you said, like you gotta you got to be willing to take it. You mean when it isn't going well? You know what I mean? Like you can't. It's not always going to be great. You know what I mean? And like there have been plenty of times I've considered walking away and even have walked away, but it's kind of like a drug. You mean like once you get it, you can't really get enough of it. And it's hard to like really be like, oh, like I feel like most musicians, most band people are never quite done. Like they say they're done, and I say this all the time too, but you're never quite fully done. I mean, like you're on the fence about it and this and that, but you're not exactly quite fully, you're never quite done is the way I take it.
About that right now. You got a whole life ahead of you of creating this music and putting out music that you're doing and everything. You were saying like you were when you were writing that music as a teenager, there was a lot of anger and hatred and anger in there. I think we all kind of feel that way, when we're 16, 17, 18 years old, and you were able to express it. But I think what you were writing was light years above what other kids your age would even think about writing about. I mean, musically, you were at a whole different level at that time, and I know it helped that you met Clown and you've got family in the sort of in the music business. Jim's a comedian, but a metalhead through and through. But I think it really light years above what other kids your age were doing at that time or thinking about at that time.
Yeah, I've learned that as time has went on that most people my age, even nowadays, still are very lost. You mean lost on what to say, what to do. You mean I knew pretty early on like what I wanted to do. You mean especially like once I met Clown, I kind of was like, oh, okay, like this is something that I like would like to get more involved and more invested with. And again, like I don't know. I think the thing that me and my manager always discuss that we've learned is just it's trial and error. Like you got to learn what works and what doesn't work, and then everything that does not work, you just have to just make sure that you just don't do it again. You know what I mean? Like there's enough good people in the industry who do the right thing. You just have to find them. You know what I mean? And like yeah, it gets a little discouraging and this and that because it's just one bad apple in the bunch really will it will destroy your interest pretty quickly. You know what I mean?
Sure. Approach just with the business part of it or with the music part of it too, because trying to define your band in one specific genre is impossible. I think you kind of encapsulate a lot of different things over there. That's what I like about it because I feel like you can go in any direction. I mean, it doesn't matter what the song is. I mean, it could be wrong place, wrong time. It could be poker chip, bitch. I mean, it can appeal to two different fans yet they'll both like it because it's something that you're creating that's in this universe of music that you've come up with. You don't really stick to one specific sound from album to album, from song to song.
No, I mean like our big thing is I always use Linkin Park as the example because like they did two records that sounded very similar and then they went to 180 for the next like five records and I just was like yeah like I don't really want to do that like I kind of take the approach as also as I as someone that I got to live with what we write, you know what I mean, and like like it's the same thing like with the merchandise. It's like I design everything. Like if I personally wouldn't wear it like in public, then why the hell are we putting it out there? You know what I mean? Like, and I do wear our own merch because I'm proud of what we do and what we create. You know what I mean? And like we've written I think it is 30 songs officially released now. I don't regret any of them. I mean, there's just certain things I would change, a couple lyrics here and there, some structure, some riffs, nothing. But I'm not sitting here going like, oh my god, I wish we didn't, put out that record or put out that song. You know what I mean? And that makes me happy that we stand by what we said and what we did. You know what I mean? They're all, time capsules of what was going on in that moment. You know what I mean? And I've done anything too controversial. You know what I mean? To like really stir the pot. You know what I mean? Little low level things, but never like anything to cause a major controversy. So like we're pretty content with what we've done, accomplished, communicated, talked about with. You know what I mean? Like which is good because I don't really want to have any regrets and the not having a regret attitude's a little bit easier for us to kind of roll with the punches with.
Said it is the way it really should be in life. You encapsulated that moment in time, and you'll hear so many bands that say, "Oh, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I put out that record and I hate it because I was in a different place or a different frame of mind." But that's where you were at that point in time. And as a musician, you can only express yourself and how you feel. And I love that, if you're in a band, you need fans, and fans count on you to deliver what you deliver best, and that's the music you create. And a band like AC/DC, I made it, they know what their fans like, and they kind of deliver the same record time and time again. You have other bands that kind of stray from the formula here and there, like I said, like Linkin Park, and they lose a big fan base, and but they gain other fans, but they lose some of the diehard fans. So I think the way you're doing it really works out well because there's something for everybody there, and either you like us or you don't, but we're doing the best we can to give you what we like and what you should like.
Yeah, I mean, like we're not really. I'm not trying to really take away from anything we've done. I'm more like trying to add things. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, look. I know everyone's like, oh, you can do this, that. We could go rewrite the whole first record right now. I could put myself in that headspace and go write and structure the songs like I did on that first record. You know what I mean? But it's not really doing anyone justice. And I got to tell you, it infuriates me beyond belief when these bands keep going back and like re-recording these records. It's like just leave the crap alone. I mean, you're probably not going to write a better version of the original version of the record. If you want to sit here and say we're going to completely rewrite the song, all right, fine. You know what I mean? Like that, I actually would be interested in hearing. But if you're just going to just re-record what you already wrote, I don't know why we're even wasting our energy listening to this. I mean, because 9 out of 10 times, it's so much worse than the original version was. Not even close.
About that. Obviously, there's always a learning curve, in music, especially in the business part of it or putting out records. I mean, what have you learned from album to album or from song to song that's made you improve upon it for the next one? You say, well, I remember when we did this and maybe that wasn't the way we should have did it. So do you learn from each recording session, what to do the next time or what to improve upon it or what not to do?
Yeah, I think we've had a pretty good system over the years. You know what I mean? Like where certain people, like it's predominantly been the same thing for since we've been putting out music of just like I come up with a couple riffs, I have some lyric ideas or some song titles, I bring them to Chris Penny, who used to be in Dillinger and Coheed, and then we just, we track the stuff, and then he'll go jam on it, he'll come back with the ideas, and then we kind of just keep adding layers and building off it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the one writing, 95% of the music you hear. You know what I mean? So like, and occasionally like, other people, will, contribute this and that. You know what I mean? But like we were just saying, like I don't really want to like stray too far from like the core of what Generation Underground really stands and represents for. I mean, I don't really want to stray too far away from that. So it's it's a balance of trying to figure out how do we keep evolving and moving forward without sounding stale. And again, if we were trying to go the Iron Maiden AC/DC route, we would just go for it. You know what I mean? But those bands obviously, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't blame them one bit. I mean, they're doing stadiums and arenas. You know what I mean? Like obviously it's working.
Everybody's influenced by somebody or by some groups as they grow up. They get into a certain style of music. They hear things that they like. But how do you go from taking the bands that really got your attention and drew you to them to saying, "Hey, I love what all these different bands are doing, but I want to create something of my own." How do you take what came before you and make it into something new?
I think that like we're not like really like afraid to be boxed into anything. I think it's also a very key thing. Like the the people writing about us or talking about us have a very tough time categorizing it because it is very tough. You know what I mean? Because it pulls from the metal, the rock world, alternative, rap, not really say industrial, but you mean like there's so many different avenues we're pulling from that we're trying to, I don't know, we're like indirectly trying to accommodate the public without at the same time. I mean, the whole core of it is that, is usually angry or darker lyrics and, pretty catchy choruses. You know what I mean? I feel like it's one of those things if we don't really deliver a hook that's good or memorable, that it makes the rest of the song a little bit less meaningful. So it kind of, like no matter how heavy it is, we kind of need to have even if it's a heavy chorus, we just kind of need to just have it to where people can, really resonate and remember what's being, said and trying to be, understood in this and that. It's tough though. You're trying to not, you want to sound original. It's just very hard to sound 100% original sometimes because there's just so many bands, so many artists. You know what I mean? And I could sit here and name you probably 15 bands that sound like they're from that have listened to only Deftones the last 3 years. Like There's so many Deftone wannabe bands, Mike. It's unbelievable. I mean, nothing against them, but like after like 5 of them, I'm like, this is just the same damn thing. This is the same shoegaze, Janko pants thing. I'm like, I heard this 2 bands ago. This is nothing original anymore. This reminds me of like early 2000s, metalcore and new metal, where every band had a major deal and had a video or 2 on MTV Headbangers Ball, and it's like, this is the same thing. This is the same copy and paste. There's nothing changing.
That's always been the problem in music is that once somebody catches on to a certain formula, everybody follows it. And some people will take that as a
Yep.
stepping stone to get through the door and then come out with this. It was like the old days when bands had all these original songs, but the clubs didn't want them to play it. They wanted them to play covers. Then they stuck a couple of
Right.
originals in there, and that's how it kind of fanned out after that. But that's just the way things are right now. Do you think it's I mean, look at the technology that we have today and what's available to people. You go back to, 30 years ago, there was no internet, there was no social media, there was none of this. Now everybody who could buy a guitar for $25 somewhere can download free equipment on the computer and record music and and drums, bass, guitar, everything, and create their own band within minutes. And now with this AI shit, it makes it even easier. So I mean, does it make it
Hmm.
harder for a band like yourselves who are established, who put the time in, the effort, riding the ropes to get your name out there when so many people could just put anything up there that doesn't mean nothing to anybody in the end?
I feel like it's a little bit of both. You know what I mean? Like I try not to rely on like other, things like AI. I mean, I know people go, I use ChatGPT. Like, I am not using ChatGPT. I actually can think things through. I don't really need, a robot telling me what is and what isn't okay. You know what I mean? I feel like I have a little bit more integrity than that. But, I think like, I think it's great that like they have the ability to get all these artists, out and about, you know what I mean? I think it really is. But it also kind of waters down the process and these bands because it's like anybody could really sit there and write a song in their mom's basement. And it's just like, I feel like there's too much music that comes out. I feel like there's just too much that gets kind of just lost in the shuffle, you know what I mean? And like it, it's hard to start weeding out these things because there's just so many people doing it. I mean, especially it's like one of those things with like venues, for example. If you don't take what they offer, there's 15 other bands behind you that'll just jump on whatever record deal or whatever offer. You know what I mean? Even if it's a bad one, they'll jump all over. They don't care. And like I feel like when they don't like set the correct standard, I feel like you're just making it worse for everybody else because if they get offered something bad and they take it and someone takes it, now you just create the problem where it's like, well, I bet every band will take our bad deal we offer. And that's the problem that you create. You know what I mean? That people need to start standing up for, the artist payout. You know what I mean? The venue does not need a cut of my merch. They make enough money, you know what I mean, hand over fist with the door and alcohol and food. It's like, you want a cut of my merch and I want a cut of the liquor. You know what I mean? Like we can play this game. You know what I mean? Because like without us, you have no show. Like at the end of the day, you're just a bar without us. So that's only going to take you so far.
Heard about the merchandising a few years ago. I've never heard of that before till a couple of years back, where clubs were demanding a cut of the band's merchandise. And let's face it, I mean, when the music industry kind of imploded upon itself 20 years ago, bands relied on the merchandise and and playing live to recuperate the money they were losing on the record sales. Not that it was such a great deal
Right.
for like other bands, but and when I heard about that, I was like, I can't believe that these clubs, besides the money they rake in from the bar itself alone, if it's a good club that promotes the bands the proper way, or and not to take a cut of the band's merchandise, I was like, I couldn't believe that. And
It's
then it's unbelievable.
beyond me. It really is beyond me that they have the audacity to think that's okay. And the problem is, legally it is. I mean, there's not enough laws set up to to defend and
No,
protect the artists. It just doesn't exist. It's sad.
I think the saddest part is there's so many bands, like, every band kind of knows other bands, and a lot of the bands work together to get shows, get on bills, put tours together. You would think, they would all just get together somehow or some way, put something out there. Say, listen, we got a band together. We stop this together now, and then nobody plays, but, nobody will take advantage of anymore. But nobody gets together. It's like, it seems like everybody's out for themselves these days. It's just horrible.
Yeah, and I also think like when you like I think back to like, the Apple Music thing where like Tool wouldn't put their music up there and AC/DC when like things like that, you know what I mean? Like are what need to be done, you know what I mean? Like not, you know what I mean? Like, it's a short-term suffering for a long-term gain. You know what I mean? I feel like you said, most of the bands are not willing to, eat it for 6 months to prove a point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if Metallica pulled their whole catalog off streaming, the world would come burning down in about
Hell
24
yeah.
hours. So, and I feel like, I know like a day to remember this with their new record where they put it out on physical, like CD and vinyl first for about a month before they put it on digital. And I'm telling you, you couldn't find anywhere. I went for every week. You couldn't find that thing anywhere for weeks. So I was like, that was a smart move because it's like, I've never heard one put out physical before digital. But it's like, yeah, you want to hear the record, go buy it. It was a unique marketing that I never thought about before.
Hey, Mike,
But,
I think I lost you again.
Oh, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, there you go. You're perfect.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's an ever changing industry, but I feel like you got to outsmart the people that are making you. I mean, I love how Spotify has all this money and these artists have not even a shred of it. You know what I mean? Like, but it's the same thing at the venues. It's like, without us, you have nothing. So like, how the hell do you keep getting away with this?
Same thing. Like I said, if all the bigger bands who really don't need the money or have the money that made it already, would just say we're not putting our music on Spotify no more. You watch how quickly things will start to change. Everything will start to change,
I
but
know.
it just doesn't happen. But it is what that is, and I'm just glad that you guys are doing what you're doing. I mean, the only beef I have with your whole band is I feel like you don't give enough love to the bass player. The bassist does not get enough love in your band. A bass player. Being a bass player myself, it bothers me.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's on about I think half the record, more or less.
Yeah.
Because he didn't join. He was the original bass player. Then he left for like 5 or 6 years. But he didn't come in until we were about halfway through. So once he was involved, he was on the recordings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you go for like the later tracks on the record, you definitely hear more bass. He's very big on like the bass distorted pedals and this and that, you know what I mean? So like his influence definitely got heard the more he was around. Even like T4 Nightwatch, that was mainly like his track. I mean, that was like one of the ones he wrote, like at least like the main riff of it he did.
I talk about memories. I mean, you've had your fair share of memories over the tenure of the band. Is that one of the most difficult things about being in a band is keeping a stable lineup together? Is it because people just don't know what it takes to be in a band, or they don't have the dedication or the time that they think they will in the beginning as things start moving along? What's the hardest part about keeping guys together?
I mean, I always say it's like being in a marriage with 4 people, and that's the problem. It's being in a marriage with 4 people. Well, like right there is the problem immediately. You know what I mean? Where it's like you have to deal with everybody's ins and outs, and you know what I mean, and home life, and then this, and then work. You know what I mean? Like, thank God that that me, my drummer, my bass player all have very flexible bosses, so we're able to kind of be like, hey, like we need off this, we need like, then they don't really ever fight with us, which is great because I know a lot of people who have that problem. Really, luckily, do not have that problem because it makes it a lot harder because, what if we get some good offers somewhere? We need to be able to, move on it because if we don't, then there's 15 other bands who will be knocking us out of the way for that opportunity.
Very, very true. I mean, our Shattered Lives is out. I mean, what's the plans for the rest of the year? You only got about 2 months left. So, anything coming up for the foreseeable future, or are you saving everything for next year?
We got a lyric video for Dead Inside coming out next Friday on Halloween. I got that today. They're almost done with it. They'll be done with it within the next like 24 to 48 hours. And then outside of that, we're going to pump the record for, probably till about Thanksgiving. And then, eventually there'll be shows again. It's just we're trying to figure out, timing of everything. We haven't done anything since the end of August. So we're trying to let everything kind of settle down, and then we'll figure out what the next step is. We loosely have thrown around ideas about new music. We have like about half of one song written so far. So like there's still momentum to something new. Not just quite. I'm not really sure though of like how soon of
timeline we're looking at here. I mean, definitely nothing new until at least next year at the absolute earliest.
I'm looking forward to that, Mike. I'm gonna let you go. I want to play some music. I mean, I'm right over the bridge from you, so next time you got a show in Jersey, I'll be out there to see you guys. What a great job you did on Shattered Lives. People are gonna love this record, man. What a such leaps and bounds from the last one. I know the next one's gonna be even better than this.
Thank you. Now you're in New York, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm in Staten Island.
Staten Island. Oh yeah, you're right there, right
Yeah.
there.
So the next show you got in the area, I'll be at it.
Works for me.
All right, Mike. You take care, my
All
friend.
right.
Have a great night.
You too.
Take care. Bye bye.
We had to free themselves and find a place to live, to know that they could live, see what they could do. They went to seek the light and travel far and wide, but I could not be there. Spirit never died. We had to live in darkness, feeling all the pain. We were the dark and gadgets, the hope was in the light. The journey lasts forever, will there be an end? This trouble like sunshine, will it ever end? Travel the journey for life. See it far ahead and grasp it in your hands. Travel the journey for life. The light keeps on burning. Journey for The truth no longer searches, locked behind the gates. The past no longer weaves, buried in the days. They tried to seek a haven, safe from all the strain. The light will not be theirs, it never remains. Travel the journey for life. See it far ahead and grasp it in your hands. Travel the journey for life. The light keeps on burning. Journey for life.
All right, Desolated, Journey for Light. I wish they would have did a lot more than they did. A couple of demo tapes. Yeah, they were reissued not long ago, but they were a great band. We had Susan on the show many, many moons ago. What a sweetheart and what a good girl. I enjoy talking with her. So maybe we'll get a Desolated reunion one day. You never know. All right, let's get back. It took me like the last 3 weeks to finally get through that Ozzy documentary on Paramount, No Escape from Now. It was excellent, but I was just so busy and I kept falling asleep. It was kind of sad, watching him, get older as the documentary went on and seeing him in the shape that he was in. It's not the Ozzy we all know and love. You don't get to see a lot of that stuff like up front. Sharon would cover that up and hide it up, to protect his image, which I completely get and understand. If anybody has an aging parent who's going through stuff like Ozzy went through, you kind of know what it's like when you see them one way one day and then another way the other day. It was a really good documentary. So if you have Paramount, go and watch it. I know there's the other one that was on BBC, which I think now it's called Coming Home. I believe it's going to be on Peacock. So if any of those streaming services, watch it. I just got Peacock now, so I'm gonna go check that out this week. Hopefully, I get through the whole thing in one sitting. Life's been busy and hectic for me lately, but like I said, very sad seeing that. But it is life, and we're all gonna get older, and we're all gonna go through it. Hopefully, I'll just get taken out by a massive heart attack one day. And I won't put anybody in my family through anything, or suffer myself. Just boom, one of those widow makers that'll take me right out. All right, let's get back to the music. Christian wanted to hit Chalice, Night Stalker. Let's get that on for him. I don't know if he's still around, but here you go, Christian.
Heavy metal maniac. can't deny. What have I done in my time? Screaming out before I die. I see my life before my eyes. There's nothing there I can deny. What have I done in my time? Screaming out before I die. One more chance, one more life. There's still time to see the light. One more chance, one more life. There's still time to see the light. Time to die.
All right, that was Dungeon, Stu Marshall's band from Death Dealer. I remember in the 90s when, heavy metal was on life support, hearing these guys. I think it was around 96 or 97 that they came out, and this record came out in 99. They kind of carried me through to the resurgence, and there were a lot of bands like them doing what they were doing. But they were really good Dungeon. Before that, Excited with Heavy Metal Maniac. I don't know. It's taken like forever to get this new Excited record out. I understand they got set back a little bit with COVID, like most bands did, but other bands were still putting music out. So I don't know why it's taking Excited so long. The same thing with John Ricci. He announced his new band not long ago. Well, I mean, a long time ago. But we haven't heard anything about it recently. So I don't know if that's still going or if that's kind of kaput. Who knows? But I used to be in touch with Dan Beal all the time. We would talk a lot. Like I had him on the show right before the reunion with Exciter. And he goes, I took a lot of pictures from Lamore, from behind the drum kit. I'm going to send them to you, and see if you're in any of them. And he sent me a whole bunch of pictures from an Excited Play Lamore the first time. And there I am right in the front with my best friend Eddie, thrashing, headbanging away. So that was pretty cool. And I still got those pictures that he sent me. But I don't know what's going on with them. Like I said, let's get some music, guys. 2026 is coming around real soon. Let's make it the year that we get brand new Exciter. And hopefully it sounds like classic Exciter. Before that, out of Pennsylvania, World War III was Steal the Night Away, and we kick things off with Chalice and Night Stalker for Christian. All right. Hey, don't forget, next Sunday, well, first off, we got the Halloween show, the Halloween Spectacular, this Thursday at 12 p.m. EST. So don't forget to tune in. It's a live show, but there won't be any chat open. I haven't done one of the matinees or one of the holiday shows live in a long time, but it will be live this Thursday. And next Sunday night, Paul Arnold from At War will be our guest. We got a great bunch of guests lined up from now till the end of the year. So tune in every week if you can't listen to the replays. All right, Missy, what are we going to do right now? How about we do some Bible Black? This is off the demo. There were a lot of people in Bible Black over the years, and I don't know if anybody ever re-released this stuff. I'm not sure if this is with. I wish I remember what song I'm even playing. I think it's Fighting the World. So I'm not sure if this is with Eric Adams on vocals or Joey Belladonna. I don't remember. I have to look it up and find out. But there were a lot of people that recorded with Bible Black. So here's Fighting the Wind.
I won't say it again, and I won't even think about it. I just hope you believe me, but I think that you're gonna doubt it when I say it again. And I said before, I don't want no more. And I can't complain, 'cause my mind's insane. I won't say it again, and I won't even think about it. I just hope you believe me, but I think that you're gonna doubt it when I say it again. These are the dreams, nothing more to believe. Can't be sure, and I know I'm not crazy. Life is just a pleasant breeze. Times rest assured, please give me a little more. Nothing in a bite, me everything in life. We hope I get my dream before. But down, 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 second last down my way. But don't let the evenings act the power line forever. Down, down, you lay down, second last down my way. But don't let the evenings act the power line forever. And I said before, I don't want no more. And I can't complain, my mind's insane. I won't say it again, and I won't even think about it. I just hope you believe me, but I think that you're going down when I say it again.
Zebra, as I said before, they're still out there performing and playing. I think Randy Jackson is the only original member left in the group. Before that, Dark Star with Hard Rocker, Bible Black, Fighting the Wind. That was Jeff Fenholt on vocals. There was some great line, like Jeff Fenholt was in that band. Eric Adams from Manowar was in that band. Joey Belladonna was in that band. Craig Gruber was on bass guitar. Gary Driscoll on bass. I think Andy McDonald was on guitar also. They were just a phenomenal group who had a good couple of demos out. I think about 3 years ago, Louder Than Loud Records kind of remastered and put all the demos out on an album. But some really good stuff over there. All right, we're gonna wrap it up here tonight. One more tune to go. I guess from the files of music that nobody cares about or music news nobody cares about, Femme Fatale releasing a new single this week. I think Lorraine Lewis should stick to her OnlyFans page. I think she probably does better with that than with Femme Fatale. Kings of Thrash did an Ace Frehley tribute. Nobody cared about that either because nobody cares about the Kings of Thrash. That's the way that goes. It's just like useless news and stuff like that. But okay, we'll end that right there. Right. See you guys next week. Don't forget to tune into the Halloween Spooktacular this Thursday, 12 o'clock, and next Sunday, Paul Arnold is our guest. How about we close it out here with some Emmy Strut? I want to thank everybody for listening tonight. Take care. We'll see you guys next Sunday night.
I left the man I had in God.
coming